So Iman, this is your question, and you went quite far in it, but I just want you to almost explain it so that somebody who's never done this question before, when you're reading it.
No problem. I'm just gonna turn to my answers.
No, don't look at your answer.
Okay.
No. I want you to read the question and then try and interpret it.
Okay. So the sketch alongside shows two circles. Circle A has equation bracket x plus 3 squared plus bracket y plus 1 squared is equal to 32 and it remains fixed in this position. So
Now,
basically
what can you tell me about this circle in blue?
What we know is that for circle A, then the center, okay, they tell us center is -3 and -1, and the radius is equal to the square of 32. I mean the square root of 32. And circle B, which is the smallest
center,
circle.
how do you know the center?
Because it's written on the because it's
they didn't give it to you.
B value. It's on the drawing.
Yeah, but if they didn't give it to you, how would you know what the center is?
It's the A and B value.
Okay, but it says here, but here it says -3 and here it says 3.
Because in the equation the equation is x minus b. I mean x minus a and y minus b. So to be the negative inverse of.
Not negative inverse.
No. Sorry, just the negative of whatever it is. So whatever the number is times negative.
X minus. So say x minus -3. That's how you must think of it. So it's x minus a, and a is -3, so it's going to be x plus 3.
Okay. And circle n remains fixed in this position, so it doesn't move on the line. Circle B has equation bracket x minus.
So the radius is √32. What is √32 simplified? You guys know how to simplify it without a calculator? You guys know how to simplify this without a calculator? How would you simplify this without a calculator?
You put it into its factors, which is
which factor?
8 and something. I'm not quite sure. 8 and 4. 8 and 4. So you'd have 2 and √8. If that's correct.
But how did you get that?
Because 8 times 4 is equal to 32, and you can.
So you've got 8 times 4, right? So yeah, I agree with you. Yeah.
Okay, and you can, if you turn that, you can the square root of 8. It's just square root 8, and the square root of 4 is 2. So you can square root that to become 2. So you'd have 2 times square root 8.
Can you simplify square root 8?
Don't think so.
You can? How can you simplify it?
4 times 2. So you'd have a 2√2.
Yeah. No, 4√2.
Okay.
So this is going to be √4 times √2 times 2. So this is 2 times 2 times √2, which is 4√2.
Wait, how can it be √4? √4 is 2.
Yeah. So it's 2 times 2, which is 4 times √2.
Okay. Okay.
Now you can easily put this onto your calculators, but I also want you to understand, because you never know. You never know. Maybe in the final exam they will ask you to show without a calculator. You see, so that's why everything you do on the calculator, you should be able to do without a calculator, actually, except for like trigonometry. Okay, so that's why I want you to know that. Okay, so this is 4√2. Great. Okay, next.
Okay, then they say that circle B has equation bracket x minus p bracket squared plus y minus q squared is equal to 8. So that means that we don't know the value of the center, but we know that it's equal to p and q. And we know that the radius is equal to √8, which is what we established now.
And what is √8?
4 no. 4 times 2, 2 √2.
2√2. Good. What else do they say?
Yeah, and the centers are both on the same line. So when they move, they'll be moving on that same line.
So they're saying that the center is on the line y equals x plus 2, which is what they've drawn here. Okay. Now, what can you deduce from that, the statement, Iman?
Any position on the line will be equal to the q plus 2.
Nafisa, does this ring a bell?
So if you use a circle equation, wherever you see y, you can substitute x plus 2 into that equation.
Oh.
You guys remember that, Naima? So,
Yes.
so if your center is PQ, remember P is just an X value, then what's the Q value going to be?
X plus 2.
Because Y equals X plus 2. So whenever you see Y, you can write X plus 2. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay. So
Okay,
actually, in preparation for this question, which is why I actually got this situation for you. So here I've got the you can see what I've got on the screen, right? So here's the one circle, right? And we know that this circle has a center of -3 and -1, right? You can see there's -3, -1. And there's your small circle, right? And has a radius of 2√2. And you're saying to me that the center has to lie on the line y equals x plus 2, which means that when we're writing the equation, instead of q, you can just say a plus 2, x plus 2. I just made a, that's the x value. So what happens is when you change the value of a, look what happens to the circle. Do you see that now?
Yes.
Do you guys all see what this question is saying? Guys?
Yeah.
Not one person?
Yes.
Two people? Ayan, Naima, Alia?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So are we all clear now? So we know what this question is saying. Okay. Right. Now it says, describe the relationship between the two circles when P is 4. What did you do here, Iman? Iman? Can you guys hear me?
Yes, you can hear you.
Sorry, I was muted.
Okay.
Basically, they tell us that the center is P of the small circle. So when P is equal to 4, and no, wait. It's like, may I see the question, please? I can't see the. Thank you. So when P is equal to 4, that means that your x value will be 4. And because they lie, that point lies on the line y is equal to x plus 2, we can say that P is equal to 4 is equal to x, so y will be equal to 6.
So the
and
new
basically
center, so the center will be 4, 6, basically.
yes. And
Okay.
because they're asking for the relationship between the two circles, we need to comment on whether they intersect, whether they intersect internally or externally, or whether they don't intersect and stuff like that. And the way that we do that is that we say that the distance between them is equal to more than or less than the sum of the radii, or the difference between the radii.
So which one's which? How would you know?
Basically, if the distance between them is like the distance between them is equal to the
Between
sum
them,
of their radii.
between them. Just be careful. Distance between there.
Oh, between their centers. Between their
Yeah.
centers.
Yeah.
If the distance between their centers is equal to the sum of their radii, that means that the circles are touching like at one point. And if the distance is less than the sum of the radii, that means that they are intersecting. And if it's less than the difference of the radii, then they don't touch, but the one circle is inside of the other circle. And if the distance between them is more than the sum of the radii, then they don't touch and they are not one inside of the other. They don't, like these two are. They're not one inside of the other.
Does everybody
So, yeah.
understand? Does everybody understand this? She's right, but does everybody understand? Do you want me to repeat it?
Can you repeat it, please?
Okay, so do you guys agree? Here's the center of this circle, here's the center of this circle.
Yeah.
You see that?
Yeah.
If I were to draw a radii, there's my radii. Okay. And then I can draw another radii. Okay, I can draw another radii and have it over here. Do you see here's the two radii? Do you guys
Yes.
see that? Okay.
Yes.
If the circles touch like that, the radii and the distance between their centers is the same. Do you see that? Just think about it. The distance between their centers and the sum of their radii is the same. Ayan? Hello?
Yes.
Hello?
Yep, I understand.
Okay. If I move them apart, what happens?
The distance increases between their centers increases.
Is greater than the sum of their radii. Okay. If the circles intersect, what happens? Or they go beyond just intersecting.
And the distance between the
From the
centers.
end, I don't know.
Distance between their centers is smaller than the sum of the radii. Do you see that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's all they want to know here. They want to know, are the circles touching? Are they intersecting? Are they be away from each other? And the way you can prove that is by using this technique that I've shown you here. So how could you work it out, Iman?
Okay, so basically, like you said, we need 2 or 3 things, and that's basically your distance between the centers, your radius of your one, and your radius of the other one.
What's the
so
sum
we
of
have-
their radii? What's the sum of their radii?
I don't know if this is right, but I didn't bother to put it into third form and all of that. I just used the squared, the r squared, because it will still give you the same answer, isn't it? So for the radius of the larger circle, for example, I didn't put it in third form. I just set 32 plus 8. Is that like fine?
No.
Okay.
But I don't understand why. Like, why is that not?
oh, because it like the square will be larger than the rooted
Actual
number.
value.
Yeah, so you'll get, it won't be, your answer might not be true to the actual relationship. Does that make sense?
What's the difference?
Because that's not actually the
What's the
sum of the
difference?
distance.
What's the difference between these two?
You form a trinomial on top.
These are different, right? Can you guys just give me 2 seconds? I'm just getting a phone call. Can you just give me 2
No
seconds?
problem.
Okay. Sorry about that. That's my mom. She had to answer that. Can you all hear me?
Yep.
Okay. So Iman, do you see now, if you square two things and you add them, it's different to if you add them in squares.
Yes.
So do you see why you can't do that?
Yeah. Okay.
Nafisa?
Thank you.
Yes, I understand.
Okay. So what's the sum of their radii?
Have to calculate that quickly.
Here's the radii. It's the 1, 4 root 2, and 2 root 2. What's 4 root 2 plus 2 root 2?
6
Oh,
root
6
2.
root 2.
6 root 2. Okay, so the sum of the radii is 6 root 2. If you show that the distance between their centers is greater than 6 root 2, what does that mean?
That they don't touch and they are external. Like
And
they
if
don't,
that and if it's equal to 6 root 2,
they touch at one point.
and if it's smaller than 6 root 2,
They intersect.
at 2 points. Because remember, if it's equal, then it intersects once, right?
Oh yeah.
Good. Okay. So so I want you to tell me, now that you have this knowledge, how can you solve question 1?
So we have the okay. So basically, the only thing that's changed is now we have a different distance between the centers. So we're going to use the distance formula to calculate the distance between the centers. So that's going to be Oh, see, and that's also what I did. I didn't square the distance formula. That's why I thought it would be okay to use the other thing. Okay, so basically, x, you're gonna say square root, and then inside of that bracket, x a minus x of b squared plus y a minus y b squared, and that's gonna be square root 4 plus 3 squared plus square root of 6 plus
So
1. That's just
what's the new center of the circle when p is 4? When the x value is
4 and 6.
yeah. So just so it's clear, it's 4 and 6, and minus 3 and 1. So what's the distance between those 2 points? So you have to say
4 plus 3 squared plus 6 plus 1 squared, and that's just 49 plus 49. And then that's 98, and square root of that is 7 root 2.
7 root 2. What does that mean?
So it's the distance between them is greater, so they don't intersect because
They
the
don't
r
intersect.
plus r was 6 root 2.
Do you guys see that? Do you guys see that? The distance between their centers is 7 root 2. Guys? Guys, talk to me. Ayan,
Yes.
Amaro, Naima.
Yeah. Yes.
You're just saying yes. I want you to talk to me.
Oh, what?
You understand what we're saying?
Yeah.
So can you explain it back to me?
Um,
Because if you say
I
you
think,
understand, then you must be able to explain it back to me. That's the
yeah,
condition.
I missed like the past 5 minutes because I was trying to bribe my sister into bringing me water. So, um,
Okay. Somebody was listening to the last 5 minutes, Ayan.
I'm actually a bit confused.
But you said yes.
I was answering your question.
Okay. So what part is confusing?
Where did we get 6?
You gave me 6. We asked you what's the sum of their radii, and you said it's 6 root 2.
Oh, yes, it's yes.
So the sum of their radii is 6 root 2. So and the distance between their centers is 7 root 2, which means that the circles must not be touching. Do you see that? Nobody's responding. Amaro, Alia?
Yeah, I understand. Do we do the minus also, like where we minus the one radius from the other and then see, or do we just do the one part?
No, just ask which ones. Just ask, like, if the distance between the centers is bigger than the sum of their radii, then the circles don't touch. So just find each one, and ask yourself, okay, then what can I conclude? Okay, and if Q is 3, Iman, what does that mean? What's the new center?
So basically they're telling us that the y value of the equation is going to be 3. So we need to work backwards. So 3 minus 2 is 1. So our x value is going to be 1. So that means that our new center is going to be 1 and 3.
1 and 3, great.
And we
So-
basically are going to do the same thing again.
Just a reminder for those who are watching, she's saying that because we know that y is just 2 plus x. So if y is 3, then x is 1. Okay, so that's why the center is 1 and 3. Okay, so what's the difference between this and that? Between minus 3 and minus 1 and 1 and 3. If you just use distance formula, it's going to be
16. 4.
Is it?
I think so.
I'm confused now.
Why you can? What's
By
confusing?
the 1 and 3 part. I don't know where that came from.
They're saying that Q is 3. Q is the y value of the center. So if the y value of the center is 3, then the x value must be 1, because we said that
X plus 2, so do we just say 3 minus 2?
Which is?
1. Oh, okay, got it.
Okay. So what's the distance between these 2 points, minus 3, minus 1, and 1 and 3, using distance formula? I want you guys to be quick. Minus 3 minus 1 is minus 4 squared, which is 16. Minus 1 minus 3 is minus 4, 16, so 32.
Yeah.
And 32, is that bigger or smaller than 6 root 2?
Bigger.
So they don't touch.
But I got that they do touch. Wait, let me just check this.
My question to you guys was, is root 32 bigger than 6 root 2?
Oh. Root 32 is equal to 4 root 2. So it's the circles don't touch.
No.
But they're internal. They don't intersect internally. Because
No, they do touch, because the sum of their radii is 6 root 2, and the distance between their centers is smaller. It's 4 root 2, which means that they must intersect. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
They don't
That doesn't sound
intersect,
good.
but they lie within each other. So the one.
Yeah, that's what I got as well.
What do you mean?
Oh, but
That's
okay,
what I
but
mean
the
by
answer
intersect.
says so they intersect at 2 points.
Yes.
Okay, I understand now.
What was the issue?
No, I was just confused. I understand.
Bro, are you still confused?
No, I understand now. Thank you.
Okay. This is a very important concept. But it's not difficult. Do you guys see? It's not difficult. It's just, you just have to think about it. Distance between the centers, sum of the radii. Okay? And just to prove it to you, let's use the actual diagram of the actual graph, just to prove it to you. We said when Q is 4, right? So what happens when we make A 4? If A is Q, look what happens when we make A 4. You see they don't touch. But when we make Q3, in other words, A is 1, look what happens.
Oh, okay. I understand now completely.
But obviously in the exam you won't have this, but you don't need it because you can prove it algebraically. Okay. So now let's ask this question, Iman. For which values of P will the circles touch externally? What does that mean?
So
They don't overlap, just like they touch each other.
In the context of that, what I've just taught you in terms of the.
Okay.
So they don't say intersect this, they just say touch externally. So doesn't that mean they just touch at one point? So wouldn't the distance have to equal to the sum of the radii?
The distance between their centers equals the sum of their radii.
Yeah.
Because let's look at these circles. Let's look at these two circles here. That's what they mean, right?
Mhm.
So the distance between their centers equals the sum of their radii for it to touch externally. So what's the distance between their centers? You would use distance formula. But what's the sum of their radii?
6 root 2.
Great. So we would say that the distance between their centers must equal the sum of their radii, which is 6 root 2. But if we use distance formula, it's going to be squared, right? Equals the change in the x values. What's distance formula? Squared.
Square root of x1 minus x2 squared plus y1 minus y2 squared.
Yeah. But what are the two? What is the two? And what's the when you go to fill in? What is the? You have one x value and one y value, right? Do you agree? Here's your one x and y value. You've got that already. So you can put your -3 and you can put your -1. Do you see that?
I mean, wouldn't you put x and x plus 2?
Minus x minus y, but
Okay.
y equals x plus 2. So you can substitute.
Negative x minus 2.
Yeah, so you can say negative x. Simplify this for me.
You'd get negative x minus 3. Oh my word, it's the same thing.
The same thing. -3 minus x. So what can we do now to make it easier?
Can't you just say 2 into -3 minus x squared?
Yes, because it's times by 2. What is 6 root 2 squared? Without a calculator.
36 times. 72.
72. Great. And then you divide that by 2, right?
36.
36. Expand out.
So it'll be 9 plus 6x plus x squared.
Equals
36. And then you bring the next step, you bring the 36 over and you'll get negative 36, and so 9 minus 36 is equal to 27.
minus
27. Negative 27, and you trinomial that, and you'll get
Factorize it for me.
e and 3. The x plus 3 and x minus 3 is not. Oh no.
9 and 3.
6 and
What's the brackets going to be? X plus or x minus?
plus and minus.
Which one?
The first one is plus and the second one is minus.
Yeah, but x plus what?
9.
X plus 9? What is it going to be?
Plus 9.
Plus 9, x minus 3. Remember I say, guys, your factorization is very important because remember they could say to you in the exam, solve this without using a calculator. Then you would have to know how to factorize. Okay. So what's the answer?
But I'm confused. How do we get 9 and negative 3? Because they aren't factors of 6. Oh, never mind. Sorry.
Okay. Maybe I should have written it x squared plus 6x minus 27.
No, it's okay. It's my own blood moment. School has taken a toll.
Remember, the order is just something that we decided. It doesn't have to be written like that. It's just convention. Okay, so what's the answer? X equals?
Minus 9,
And, or?
3. X is equal to 3.
So my question to you is, why are there two answers? You can explain to me why there are two answers.
Because it also doesn't touch on the other side. It touches one point on the other side of the circle.
What are we trying to solve for? What's the point of this calculation? What are we trying to solve for? We're trying to
value
find.
of P with the circles touch externally.
And how many times does the circle touch externally?
Twice, like I answered.
Right. So do you see the A is 3? I gave you the answer already. A is 3. And then when A is, what did we say?
Negative 9.
Come
Okay, you
on.
ready? Okay. So when A is negative 9. Oh, X. Remember, A is just X. Okay. Now, for which values of Q will the circles touch internally? How do we break down this question?
Make the distance between the circles less than the sum of the radii.
So once it just
What does it mean to touch internally?
the circle will be on the inside and but won't it just be the same values?
Like
just
that?
on the other side?
Or like that? But now, how are you going to set up an equation?
R plus R is less than. No, D is less than R plus. Oh, D is equal to R minus R.
Equation, not inequality.
D is equal to R minus R.
Which R? In which R? R minus R is 0.
I mean, the radius of the large circle minus the radius of the small circle.
Do you guys agree?
Yep.
Why are you trying to find the R minus R?
Because they want to know where it touches internally. So that's the formula you use.
Yeah, but why is it the formula?
I know the textbook says that.
Oh, I get it. Basically, if it's
Why does
inside
it
of this.
Alia, remember I said why? Remember, you must always be able to explain. Why does the textbook say? Because remember, the people who wrote the textbook had to understand, right? They had to. They didn't just wake up one day and say R minus R. Okay. Yeah.
I don't know if this will help anyone's understanding, but like the way I just realized is that like you're basically saying the distance between this the center and the edge of the one, so the radius of the one minus plus the radius of the other one. That's what we used the last time, right? Now,
Mm.
obviously, that can't, it literally can't, you can't have the one circle and the other if it's going to be equal to that, right? So it has to be equal to the big radius minus the small radius for the one circle to be within the other one.
Yeah, yeah. So another way to think of it is here is your center. Do you agree? That's the radius of the red, right?
Mhm.
Do you agree?
Yeah.
Yes.
And if I draw another line for the radius of the blue, it's there. And you want to work out the coordinates of the center of the blue, right? You want to work out that coordinate. What's the distance between this center and that center? It's just going to be the black minus the green, right?
Yeah.
But the black is the radius of the red and the green is the radius of the blue. So do you understand why it's the radius minus the radius?
Yes.
Alia? Alia, does it make sense? Alia? Nafisa, does it make sense?
Yes, it does.
Okay. So what is the big radius minus the small radius equal to?
2√2.
It's 2 root 2. Because it's 4 root 2 minus 2 root 2. Okay. That's the distance. It's 2 root 2. And what 2 root 2 squared? What's 2 root 2 squared?
8.
8. Right? Okay. Equals the distance between the x values. What's the distance between the x values? What's the distance between the x values? Guys. Here are your x values. -3 and -1. So what are you going to write down? Iman?
Yes.
So what's going to be your equation?
D is equal to R minus R of the big circle minus R of the small circle.
Which is 8 or root 8. You said that, but I'm asking about the distance formula, which is the distance between the x values squared plus the distance between the y values squared. So what are the two x values?
1 and 3 and -3 and -1. And
No.
we said that was
No.
didn't we say?
You want to work out the center of the blue. You don't know the center of the blue.
Oh, sorry, x and x plus 2. Your x value will be x and your y value will be x plus 2.
And you have the one x and y coordinate because you have the red which is fixed.
Mhm.
So what's your
So it'll
equation?
be -3 minus x and -1 minus x minus 2.
Isn't that the same as what we had earlier?
Yes.
How did we simplify that to?
2
Simplify this.
You divide everything by 2, so you'll have 4 and -3 minus x all squared. And then you get
So, okay, you guys can do that. Okay. Good to, I mean, okay, yeah, okay.
okay. So then you'll have 9 plus 9 plus 6x plus x squared, and the next step you'll have 0 is okay. Then we rearrange it, and you take the 4 over, so you'll have 0 is equal to x squared plus 6x plus 9 minus 4, which is equal to 5, positive 5.
Factorize.
And then you have 6, 3 and 2, x plus 3 and x plus 2.
Mm-mm.
No?
5 and 1.
5 and 1. Because you remember,
5 and
what's the answers? What's x equal to?
-1 or -5. And that's what we got earlier on the
But
diagram.
what's the y value? Because remember, they're asking for the value of q, right? So they're asking for the y value. So just be careful there. So this is the x value. You want the y value. What's the y value?
So we take our equation, which is y is equal to x plus 2, and we put in our x value, so it'll be y is equal to -1 plus 2. So our one y value will be 1, and our other y value will be 3, -3.
-3. So 1 and -3. 1 and -3. And let's just check it again with the with this. Do you see there when x is -1? Sorry. You see that? That's the one answer. And the other one when x is minus?
-5.
Okay. Does everybody understand? Remember, again, these examples are just examples, but the most important thing is to understand why we're doing what we're doing here. Because the problem is, I feel like when there's questions with us, like a lot of working out, people get lost and they just memorize the method. But I want you to understand why we are doing all these things. Does anybody want to summarize what we did here? Naima, you want to summarize? Naima, are you there? Okay. Ayan, left. Oh, you see, they had to leave at 4 o'clock. Nafisa?
Must I summarize everything that you said?
Just explain to, like, if you're explaining, somebody asked you, Nafisa, like, I don't understand this question. How would you approach this question? How would you explain it to them? Because the thing is, like, in the exam, they can give you a different question that tests this concept. So I just want to see if you guys are fully grasping it.
Okay, so basically when they're asking you for the relationship between two circles, you're working with the radius and so it's the sum of the radius and the distance between the circles, right? So if they want, like for the first question, we had to work out the things first, P and Q, and then we had to work out the distance and then the sum. So if they want to know if the circles touch at one point, then you equate the sum of the radius and the distance, and
The distance between what?
the distance between the two circles.
Not, you see, you must be careful there, because distance between the Iman,
Centers.
the centers, Nafisa. So you must just be careful there. Okay, carry on, Nafisa.
And then if they want to know if the circles touch internally, then you say the distance between the centers must be less than the sum of the radii. And if they want to know where it doesn't touch at all, then the distance must be greater than the sum of the radii.
Yeah, so remember that the circles don't have to touch internally for that to be true, because remember, you could have a circle that does this, right? It can do this, and it'll still, it won't touch internally, but it will be, yeah, it will be in the circle, yeah. You get what I'm saying here?
Oh, I see. Yes, yes.
So, okay. So now let's actually go to the question 4, Iman. Is everybody else okay with what we've done? Alia, are you there?
Yep, I'm more confident now because I was both baffled and confused, but now I understand.
Okay, so you see how much better it becomes when you understand. I used to say that, you know, you guys eat food to nourish your stomach, but the nourishment for your brain is understanding. And that's why you should always endeavor to nourish your brain and not just memorize information. It always feels better when you understand, isn't it? Doesn't it feel better when you understand?
Definitely.
Right? Okay, sir. Doesn't it feel better? Okay, sir.
Yes, definitely.
So that's why I like, and it makes it more enjoyable. Okay. So now, for which values of k will the line minus x plus k be a tangent to the circle, secant, exterior line? Okay, firstly, what is a tangent? What does that mean? Just remind me.
The line, if when a line touches the circle at
Circle
one point only.
Yeah, and a secant?
2 points. Touches the circle at 2 points.
Yes. Don't you find this interesting? Tan, sec. Don't you find that interesting?
I don't
Trigonometry.
get it.
Wow.
What's-
Oh my word! Oh wow!
How is everything related?
okay, so- yeah, I mean, what do you think tan stands for? what do you think tan stands for?
Oh my
Damn.
word!
Wow.
Okay, wait.
Oh my word! That is very cool.
Maths is cool, not that cool. Maths is yes,
Of course, of course.
which values? Okay, so what can you tell me about the line y equals minus x plus k? What do you know about this line?
It's a straight line, a vertical. Wait, no, horizontal line. Sorry.
Oh, no. Ima, what type of graph is this? Minus x plus k.
Straight line.
I want more.
Sorry, it's a
Ooh,
vertical line.
inverse.
No, it's not a vertical line. A vertical line is when it says something like x equals 5.
Oh,
never mind.
it's a line that is the gradient is negative, so it goes like that way.
No, what's the gradient? What's the gradient?
Diagonal. It's negative.
No, what's the gradient? It's a number.
Negative
One.
one.
Negative one. Negative one.
See, there's different to saying gradient's negative because it could be -5, but they're saying to you the gradient is -1.
Yes, it's just I didn't know you were asking me that because it's obvious.
Okay. So what's the only thing that's happening on this graph? It's a graph. It's a negative gradient -1. But what is happening here?
It has a shift, vertical shift.
Okay. So let me show you what we've got here, Iman. Here's minus x plus k. It's a graph and all that k is doing is that it's shifting it up and down. Do you see that?
Yeah.
Okay. So do you see that there are different values of k that make it a tangent? There's a tangent. You see there it's a tangent. Here it's a secant. Do you see?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I see that. I see that.
And then here it's just an exterior line. Do you know what exterior line means?
It doesn't touch at all.
Yeah, so it's like here, and then it's tangent, secant, tangent, exterior line. Do you see that? Okay. So what can we do? They want to work out the value of k that will make it a tangent to circle A.
Okay, so circle A doesn't move, right? So can't we
Yes.
just find where don't know if this is right, but like the y-intercept. Oh yeah, because it is the y-intercept. So you
Can
can just
we
find out where
equate
the circle intercepts y.
How do you know that?
I don't know. Just looked at the graph.
No. You said something, so you must back it up.
Okay, so basically, they are asking for which values of k will the line y is equal to negative x plus k be a tangent to circle A. Now, circle A doesn't move, right? So we basically know that it has a fixed point on the Cartesian plane. So the circumference will it'll hit the what's this? Intersect the y-axis at the same point at one point. And so if we find that point, won't that be it's a tangent? Oh, but not necessarily.
Okay. So why do you think they gave you the gradient? What do you know about the gradient of the tangent? Or gradient of the, yeah. If it is a tangent, what do you know about the gradient?
It is perpendicular to the radii of the circle.
Oh
The
my
radius of the
word.
circle. Yes, the product is. Wait,
The inverse, the
no,
inverse.
it's perpendicular to the radius.
Negative inverse, yeah, it's negative inverse. Okay, but now wait. So looking
So you
at
can
this point here, what do you agree that remember we draw the line, what is this line that we drew here? What's the equation of that line?
negative x plus k.
No, this other line here.
X plus 2.
And do you agree that's on the center, right?
So wouldn't we equate the equation of the circle with that line y is equal to x plus 2?
That would be for secant.
Why would you do that?
And then work out for x and see y or x, I don't know, and then see if it touches at one point to see if if it has one root.
It's very long. Because what if it's
Oh.
wrong? Then you have to find like another one.
Yeah, true. Okay.
Okay. What's the gradient of the red line?
Negative.
Isn't it
Positive
1?
No, positive one.
Yeah.
Can't you just find with that line is like a tangent and then like solve the direction? Because they both just have a shift. Isn't?
No, the y equals x plus 2 is not changing. It's fixed. It's minus x plus k that changes.
So what I'm saying is that can't you find where like where the red line intersects the big circle, and then basically because that y is equal to negative x plus k just has a shift as well. It doesn't have like a coefficient to x. Why don't you just say that it'll be a tangent at the same point?
How do you know it's a tangent at that point?
I don't know how to explain it. I just see it in my head.
You must be able to explain it. Nafisa, any ideas?
I don't know.
I also don't know. Like I don't even have like a clue.
Okay, let me put it to you this way. Do you agree that this is basically a diameter?
Yeah.
Do you agree? How do we know it's a diameter?
Because it touches both sides of the circumference of a circle.
And it goes through the center.
No, that's not why it's a
And
it goes to the center
yeah.
because this is not diameter, right? That's a chord.
Sorry. Yeah.
But it must go through the center. How do we know it goes through the center? Because there's the center.
Okay. Yeah.
So it's a diameter. So therefore, isn't this the radius?
Mm-hmm.
What's the gradient of this radius?
+1.
Right. It's the gradient of the purple line.
-1.
What does that tell you?
They are perpendicular.
Yeah.
We know the lines are perpendicular, but what does that mean in the context of the circle? I know 1 is perpendicular to -1, but why is that significant?
It could be a tangent, but like also a chord is also like perpendicular to like a line from the center. So I'm very confused.
Alia, any ideas?
I just thought it was a tangent because same reason what Iman said.
If it is a tangent, which is what the question is asking you, what do you know about the gradient of the tangent and the gradient of the gradient?
Can't you work out an equation?
Okay. What do you know about the gradient of the tangent and the gradient of the... What does that theorem state? What's that theorem say?
Tangent at the point is perpendicular to the radius. At that point.
Now, there's a crucial word here. The gradient of the tangent is perpendicular to the gradient of the radius at the...
At that point.
At the point of contact.
So there is a point of contact. So if the gradient of the tangent is perpendicular to a radius, then it must be at the point of contact, which means...
Oh, and then you make them equal to each other, and then you'll get the point of intersection.
Which means that the tangent must be at that point. At that exact point.
Yeah.
And how do you know what that point is? How do you know what this point is?
You can work out the x values. So you would use the circle formula, right? And then wherever you see y, you put in x plus 2, and then you work out x alone. And then...
Can you work out this point here? Can you work out?
Yeah.
How could you work it out?
You equate it, and then you put...
Wait,
x
what
plus
you
2.
must say? What are you equating with?
You're equating that circle formula with x plus 2.
Yes, good.
So then where you see y, you sub in x plus 2, and then you solve for x alone.
So what does that become? It becomes x plus 3 squared
Plus x plus 2 plus 1 squared
which is
equals 32.
which is
X plus 3 squared.
what do you notice?
It's the same.
It's the same. So you just say
2x plus 3 squared.
and then you divide it by 2, gives you 16.
Mm-hmm.
Does this look familiar? Okay, x squared plus 6x plus 9 equals 16. X squared plus 6x minus 7
1 and
equals
7.
0. Factorize this for me.
One and 7.
Factorize.
X plus 7, x minus 1.
Wait, I have a question.
Yes.
By the first red line, right? Couldn't we just square root both sides? Then the square thing falls away, and then we square root 16, which gives you 4. Then you say x plus 3 plus 4 plus, wait, equal to 4. Then you say 4 minus 3 instead of just...
Yes, you can actually do that. But then you're going to have two answers here. So x plus 3 equals minus 4 and x plus 3 equals 4.
Yeah. And then you would
Which
say
gives you the
4 minus 3 and minus 4 minus 3, which would give you 1 and minus 7.
which is the exact same.
Yeah.
So now you know, why do we get two answers, by the way, quickly? Why do we get two answers?
Because it's two points where it touches.
There's two tangents, right? You see, there's one, there's another one.
Yeah.
So now you have the coordinates of the point of contact, and you've got the gradient of the tangent. So can't you work out the equation?
Mustn't we still work out the y value of the point?
Yeah, I'm saying, but do you see we've got a coordinate now,
Oh, yes, yes.
and we've got a gradient,
Yeah.
which means we can work out the equation.
Yeah.
So if the coordinate is, if the x value is 1, what is the y value?
3.
And the x value is -7, the y value is?
-5.
And if the gradient is -1, how can you work out y equals mx plus c?
Yeah.
It's minus x plus k or c. And if y is if y is 3, then it's -1 plus k equals 4. And then it's y5 equals minus or plus 7 plus k equals -2.
No. Yes.
No.
No.
No. What do you guys get?
-12.
So if it's y equals minus x plus k, and x is -7, so it's y equals, so it's 5 equals 7 plus, oh yeah, it's -12, yeah. So k equals 4.
Or -12.
Yes. Do you kind of see that here? Look there. Where does the purple intersect the y-intercept? Do you see there? And if you bring it down, -12. So now that's the first answer. Then it says secant. So how would you work that out? You would use these answers. How would you work that out to work out the secant? Iman?
I don't know. I'm like confused.
But you must say if you're not sure. What part is confusing?
I don't know. I'm just reading all the information and seeing what I'm missing.
Naima, are you following?
Would it be an inequality?
Yes.
So then it would be between the 4 and -12.
Yes, because do you see here that when k is -4, it's a tangent. When k is -12, it's a tangent. So surely when k is between 4 and -12, it's a Nafisa?
It's a secant.
And when k is greater than 4,
it's a exterior line.
And when it's smaller than -12,
a tangent. Oh no, an exterior line. Sorry.
So do you see how we've answered all three of these questions?
So it's not a specific point. It's just like you can say x must
It's
be
in between.
this,
Yeah.
in between that.
So that's why they say values of k.
Okay.
So
and
you
for,
know
for the previous one, Sorry. Where did we get for when we said y is equal to negative x plus k? Sorry, I have hiccups. Then 3 is equal to negative 1 plus k. Where did the 3 come from?
Because you agree the x coordinates of the tangent is -7 and 1. Right?
Yeah. Oh, so did you sub that into the circle equation?
Into y is equal to mx plus c.
You don't need to sub it into the circle. You can just sub it into the x plus 2. Because isn't this where x plus 2 equals the circle? It's the intersection between the line x plus 2 and the, so you don't have to sub it into the circle equation. Does it make sense?
Kind of.
No, the kind of is not good enough. What part is not clear?
Iman, go drink water.
It doesn't work. I tried.
Want me to say it again? We can do that part again.
If possible, if anyone else doesn't mind, because I'm quite confused. So.
Okay. So the tangent I first got you guys to realize that the tangent, because the gradient is -1 and the line x plus 2 is 1, gradient is 1, that means that their gradients are opposites. So if it's a tangent, that means that the line must intersect. It must have the same point of contact. Let me just show you guys again.
As the original straight line that we were working with.
Yes, because the gradient is 1. This gradient is 1. The gradient is 1. So therefore, since the tangent is the gradient of -1, it must have the same point of contact.
Okay, I see.
So therefore, if we work out this point, which we can, because we can just put the circle equal to the straight line graph.
Okay, I understand now.
And we found the coordinates of the tangent. We have the coordinates of the tangent, and we have the gradients of the tangent. Therefore, we find the equation. We found that the k value is a tangent when k is 4 and k is -12. So therefore, do you agree that when k is just between that, it's a
Secant.
And when it's above 4
It's an exterior line.
and below -12?
An exterior line as well.
That's your question.
Okay, I understand now. Thank you so much.
It's not an easy question. It's not an easy question, but do you see, have we done new maths here?
Nope.
It's stretching your understanding. You see, it's not stretching your memorization, it's stretching your understanding. That's why I always just appeal to you guys, make sure whenever you learn something, make sure that you understand it, because that's the only way you can answer this question. Do you see, Iman? That's the only way you could have answered this question, is by understanding what the questions are asking you, and by understanding and just putting things together. For example, the gradient of the tangent being perpendicular to the radius, is that new?
No.
But it was a Euclidean geometry concept. But again, I told you guys that you must combine the two. You mustn't think that what you learned in one area. Did you guys watch the finance concept video? Anybody? Future value? If you said, did you watch the finance concept video?
Oh, in
Grade
terms of the
12.
11 ones, not the 12 ones.
Okay, but basically I'll show you in the future value how to derive the future value formula. You use number patterns. You must integrate the, okay. Is there another question? That was quite long. It's probably the longest question we've ever done. But it's good. It's good that we're doing these types of questions. Do you see why I didn't want to make a video, like just one video on this?
Yeah. God, that would have been a long video. So the question that I said, I don't really think we'll ever get one like that, so it's okay if you skip it. For
There's no
time's
other
sake.
question though.
No, I think Nafisa wanted to
Like,
say one.
if
which
we're
was-
not gonna do this one, then can we do another one
because Nafisa's is more likely
similar to the other one? Yeah.
You
Wait,
can see
I'll send
both.
it now.
I don't see one.
Like, I'll send it now.
This is a thinking question. So you've got a circle. That doesn't look like a circle. And it's in a chessboard.
when in the written solutions. Sorry, when they
Don't tell,
gave
don't
a
tell me the
drawing
answer.
and
Don't tell me the answer.
Then-
Well,
I'm not gonna say the answer, but
Okay.
the only way that I could understand was with the drawing, and like I just want to know if there's like a way without the drawing that you could understand, because obviously in exams I don't have time to like make a whole chart. So
Then you must draw in the exams. You do have time. You must try your best to draw and to visualize the solutions. Okay, so let's look here. Nafisa, did you send your question already?
Yeah, I just sent it now.
Okay. No. Okay. No, it's not. There we go. Okay, that's you get the idea now. Right? Okay. There are 64 squares, 8 times 8 on a chessboard. So that's 8 times 8. 8 times 8. Suppose a circle is drawn, touching all 4 sides. How many of the 64 squares are fully contained? Part of squares don't count. Use the circle equation, x squared plus y squared equals 16. Okay, that's so if you were to draw it out, you're looking at something like that. Just that we I mean, one could even, okay. You guys get the idea that they are. You never know, this might even be, they might even know, but this is more of a level 4 question. 1, 2, 3, 4.
you only have 7 lines.
Yeah, and I will. Do you agree the equation, can you work out the equation of the circle?
We have the center. Oh, no, we have the radius. I mean,
What's the radius?
4, because it spans the entire chessboard, which is 8 blocks. So the center should be at 4. So the radius should be 4.
Yeah. So this is how many, sorry, my lights are flashing here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so easy enough. Actually, let's try this, make it easier for ourselves. 2, no, 3, no, 3, no. Oh, click that there. 3, 4, 5, 6. No. No. I'm trying to
It doesn't
click
matter if the circle gets selected because it'll just be the same as the circle.
Can't you just rotate the circle
and
and
there we
then
go.
set it on top of it?
No, what I wanted to do is just to do this. Delete. No. There. Duplicate.
Can't you flip it left or right and then go
It's not responding to me. It's not. I'm moving it, but the screen is just being a bit slow. Yes, yeah, there. Moving. Okay. This is annoying. This is annoying. Let's just try with one. Let's just do that and turn it like that. No. Sorry, 3, 5, 6, 7. You guys get the idea, yeah? So this is like a chessboard here. And you've got the equation of the, so they want to know how many full blocks fully contained inside the circle.
Now can't we just count?
You could count. I mean, you would say like these.
how do you know? I counted.
Like you could say that, but I would want to see if there's maybe an algebraic way. But you kind of see what what we're getting at here, right?
Mhm.
Yes.
In the exams, right, if we get a question like that and then we don't show it like all the algebra stuff and we just count, will we still get the mark?
I don't think you're gonna get marks now.
But
That's
I
just
mean,
the intuition.
but I'm like using my creative thinking here, to draw it
Oh
up.
my gosh. You can try, you can see what happens.
They have to give me the mark,
See, the key word here is fully contained. There's something that we have to realize here that
Oh,
fully
do they not
contained.
mean like those half squares? Can we not count those?
No, it's only the full squares.
Oh. Wow.
The circle, the distance. See, the keyword here. Okay, maybe we can look. I'll look at this one later on, just in case, because we might run out of time. We can come back to this one at the end.
Must I send the solution from the teacher's guide? In case.
Did they use algebra?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can send.
Okay. I'll see now.
I haven't.
They
That's why I
use
said it's a very weird thing. I don't think I'll ever ask someone like this. It's like extreme memory. So must I say what they did?
You say you're gonna send a picture.
Okay, I'll send it. It's P on the picture.
So they're basically doing trial and error. Okay, so if this is okay, let's say this is the Cartesian plane, and you choose 1, then that's going to be 1. If that's 2, then that's going to be 2. I see. Okay, so if you choose this to be 3, then that will be 3. Now you have to see if you choose x to be 3, do you see, okay, so if the equation is x squared plus y squared equals 16, if you choose x to be 3, what's the y value?
3.
So it's going to be 9 plus y squared equals 16, right? So y squared equals 7. What's the square root of 7?
square root 7.
It's going to be 2,8 or something. What is it? Like, let's just say, which would be like year. Do you agree? There.
Mm.
So is that inside?
No, it's on the line.
It's the circle is inside, but the square is outside.
Yeah.
Therefore, that square doesn't count. If you make x2 and the circle is what? If you sub in 2 for x, then it becomes 4. Y squared equals 12. Square root of 12 is 3 comma something. 3,5, let's just say, right?
You know that out of your wish.
No, I'm not saying.
Question.
So it's year. So therefore, these blocks would be part of it, if that makes sense. Yes?
Yeah.
So
it's not really like a real concrete way to figure it out, like simply.
You'd have to do trial and error, yeah. I thought it's not really a, yeah.
Okay.
So, but you could just count it. They didn't say, did they say you must calculate, or did they say you have to count?
They just say you must count it.
They just say how many.
Yeah.
So actually, you could actually count.
You could just draw it. Because
Yeah.
basically what they're doing is that they are just calculating it without drawing it to scale. But you could also just draw it to scale. But you understand what they're doing here.
Yeah.
If you make x minus 1, then the highest you can go up to is there, but then that's going to be, okay. So how many, what's the answer? It's going to be 4, 6, 6, 6, 24,
32.
28, 32. Did they get that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait, I have a question quickly. So are they basically working out because they use the circle formula, right? In the answer, are they working out the radius, which is 4, and anything less than that is what we take in.
No. So look here. So if you choose, you basically, let's say you choose x value of 1, right?
Mm-hmm.
You want to know how many blocks you can have. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, possibly. But what happens when you sub in 4 into the circle? You get, actually no, when you sub in 1 into the circle, what do you get? For x, you get y squared equals 15. which is 4,9 or something, or 4,8.
3,8.
Sorry, 3,8.
Yeah.
So that means that the circle, when x is 1, is 3,8. So therefore, you can't have 4 complete blocks. You can only have 3.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
You see that?
Mm.
And the same thing when x is 2. You can only have 3 complete blocks.
Oh, okay, I understand.
Got it.
And when x is 3, you can only have 2 complete
2.
blocks. Because if it was 3, the circle
goes
is only 2
2 comma
comma, it's 2 comma
Yeah.
something. So
Oh.
so that's, but it, you see, it takes with a bit of time to do
Yeah.
that. It's not living. Yeah. So, I mean, it isn't really new maths also, because you're just subbing into the equation. But yeah, anyway. Okay, so let's look at the next question. Sorry, my light is flickering in my room. You're supposed to have load shedding. Do you guys have load shedding?
We
No.
already had this.
No.
For real?
Yeah,
Oh
we-
yeah,
when
we
I-
had earlier.
Yeah, it was
And we had it at school, so then they just said we can go home. It is a waste of time. Yeah.
It's the best thing.
So, but then what did you do at 8 o'clock?
No, we went at
no,
8, right? We had classes, and then at 10, I think we had
Yeah.
load shedding, and we had classes in the auditorium, so there's no lights there, and there's no windows there either. So they were like, just go home.
It was like when I came. Okay. In the sketch
Yeah,
alongside, the
yeah.
circle with center P has the equation. Okay, Nafisa, did you do all these questions, or did you?
No, I did not do that.
Which ones did you do?
No, I didn't do it.
Okay. Okay.
It was just similar to the one we did now. So
Okay.
I was like,
Center P equation. What do you guys know about this circle?
The center is A and P, and the radius is 5.
yeah.
Great. So PT is 5.
Mhm.
And PR is?
Also 5.
Okay. And then they say touches the y-axis at 2. Now, okay, what do you know about this radius that goes from P to the y-axis? What do you know about that?
It's perpendicular.
no, it's parallel to the x-axis.
Oh, oops.
Which is the same as perpendicular to the y-axis.
Oh yeah.
But what does that mean? What do you know about horizontal lines?
They have the same y-axis, y coordinates.
So what's the y value of P?
2.
2.
You see that?
Oh. Yeah.
So do you see how you really get information just from them? The circle with center Q touches the x-axis at 4. What does that mean?
Q's coordinate x value is 4.
Because the radius is perpendicular, or it's parallel to the,
Y-axis.
so therefore a vertical line always has the same.
X
Y.
coordinate.
X. Yeah.
So the x coordinate of Q is 4.
Mhm.
Do you see how we consider, two circles touch each other at R? Okay, AB is a common tangent. Now, what do you know about tangents?
It's perpendicular to the radius.
And what else? You know, Chord theorem.
Interior. The angle between the tangent and the chord is equal to interior opposite.
Yeah. TQ is a tangent of to the circle. Okay, yeah, TQ is tangent of circle. So what does that mean? TQ is the tangent of circle P.
They have the same tangent. So
What do you know about tangents?
Perpendicular.
Yeah, so therefore TQ is
Isn't it-
perpendicular to PT.
Mhm.
Okay. So if you work out the gradient of PT, you work out the gradient of TQ.
TQ. Mm.
Okay. Or we can just say 90 degrees here.
Mhm.
Okay. Because maybe you could even use Pythagoras. Let's just see. Okay. Well, okay. AB is a common tangent. Don't see how you can use that yet. Yeah, so this is also 90 here. Do you see that? Here's 90 here. This is 90 as well. Okay. Okay. TQ is a tangent. The length of PQ is?
15 units.
That's
PQ.
interesting. What does that mean now? If you got PQ.
Yeah. Oh, we can work out TQ. We can use Pythagoras.
What do you know?
Either
What is RQ then?
RQ. Here's RQ. RQ. Oh, it's RQ is 15 minus 5.
Oh,
So it's
why
RQ is-
minus?
No? Yes?
Yes, 10.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
So what does that make TQ? How can you work out TQ?
Pythagoras.
TQ is 10. Because 10 squared plus 5 squared is? No, I'm wrong. Sorry, I'm wrong. It's not. It's 225. Just use Pythagoras. So 15 squared, which is 225 minus 25 is 200. Square root of 200 is 10.
Square root 2.
What?
10 square root 2.
Yeah, it's 10 square root 2. Okay. Okay. And this distance is, we don't know yet. Okay. Determine the values of A and B. How can we work out A and B?
Is TQ not 5 root 3?
Why do you say 5 root 3?
Because it's square root of 10 squared minus 5 squared.
No, it's in 15 squared.
Oh, 15. Oopsie, I took 10. Sorry. Yeah, it's right. We can use to work out, we have B, right, which is 2. And now we can work out A by using the circle formula.
Do you?
Oh, wait, you can use gradient formula also, and distance formula, I think.
Let's try, see what it works. You wanted to use the equation of the circle, right?
Yeah.
Because do you agree you have a coordinate? What's your coordinate?
We have 2 and 0 and 2.
Yeah, and then you've got
Maybe
A
it's
is a
not
variable,
25,
but you've got B,
which is
and you've
2.
got 25. So can't you sub it in? So what do you get? So what's your x value going to be? Naught, because that's the y-intercept, minus A. So what's naught minus A is just minus A, but minus A squared is just A squared. A squared plus y minus B, and y is?
2 minus 2. Well,
Yeah,
2 minus 2 squared.
which is naught.
Yeah. Oh. Okay. Oh, then you say equals to 25, then you square root A, and then it's 5 or negative 5.
Which
Yeah.
one is it? 5 or negative 5?
-5 because it's on the left hand side.
Yes. What's the easy way to do this? Do you agree the radius is 5, right?
Mm.
Isn't this horizontal? Isn't this 5, this distance?
Yeah.
Isn't this a horizontal line?
Yes.
So what's that going to be? Go horizontal line, then it's just going to be -5.
Huh?
This is a horizontal line. Do you agree?
Yes.
Why?
Because it's horizontal.
No, why is it a horizontal line?
Because it's parallel to the x-axis. I don't know. It's a straight. Oh, because it's y is equal to 2. No.
Yeah, but why? Yeah, but remember, if the y-axis is the tangent, and the tangent is perpendicular to the radius, so if the y-axis is your tangent, then which is a vertical line, then the x
Has to be
horizontal line is your radius. So if this is a horizontal line, distance is 5, and that means that this is going to go from 0 to -5.
Oh, I see.
So therefore, you've got A and B. You see that? -5. So now you've got the equation of the circle. Do you agree? What's the equation of the circle?
X plus 5 plus y minus 2 squared equals 25.
Yeah, x plus 5 squared minus plus y minus 2 squared equals 25. Great. Now it says the equation of the circle with center Q. Using the same logic, Nafisa. Any ideas? Adia?
Okay, so 4 and 0 is a point on that circle with Q, and then you do the same. So you substitute values, and you get 4 minus 4 squared plus 0 minus b squared is equal to 100. And your b comes up to plus minus 10, and b is equal to minus 10. That's what I got.
Yeah. The other way is also, do you agree
Wait,
that
but then
this
didn't
is
you
a
say
vertical
if
line?
yeah, so if you said the other one was -5, so this would be -10, right?
If this is 10, do you agree that distance is 10? The
Yeah.
radius is 10. And if this is the vertical line,
Mm.
then this is just going to be 0 minus 10 for the y. So it's minus 10. Do you see that?
Yeah.
Yep.
And
So
it's below the y-axis, so it's negative. I mean, yeah, so it's -10.
right. So what's the equation?
X minus 4 squared plus y plus 10 squared equals 100.
Okay. That's done. What's the length of TQ? Oh.
We worked it out.
Okay. So that's, you see, you're getting information already. The area of PTQ. PTQ. How do you work out area of PTQ? What are the two ways of finding the area of a triangle?
It's half
Half
base.
base time height.
Oh, yeah.
And the other one?
The area
Half,
formula. So the one with
half
the
AB times sin C.
And which one do you use in which situation?
if we
If
look at
it's
the right hand.
yeah, if it's a right angle, then you can use the half times base times height, and if it's not, you can use that one.
Is it a
It's a right angle
base?
triangle.
Is it a right angle triangle?
Yes.
Okay. Right. So therefore, what one are you going to use?
The half times base times height.
Okay. So what's your answer?
So it would be half times 10 square root 2 times 5.
25 and square root 2.
Yeah.
Okay, the equation of PQ.
The equation of PQ.
We can work out the gradient and then substitute into the formula.
You've got 2 points. Do you see that?
Yeah.
So you can easily work out.
Gradient and then sub in a point. Okay.
So what's the gradient?
-4/3. Yeah.
-4/3, right? And if you sub that in and y equals mx plus c, what do you get as your final equation?
Y is equal to -4/3 x -14/3.
Yeah. If you sub in 4, it's -16, -30/3, -15. Yeah. Okay. The coordinates of R.
Isn't that at the point of intersection?
Yes.
So you can equate the two circle formulas. Or could we?
But that seems a bit complicated.
Yeah.
So
Can we take the tangent and equate it to one of the circles? Do we have the equation of the tangent?
could you work out the equation of the tangent?
We can work out by using yeah, the gradient we can get, but the point we can't, can we? We don't have a point. Oh wait, can't we equate one of the circle formulas to the equation we just worked out now? Because that
Yes.
right.
Because when you're finding do you agree the intersection between PQ is also where the circle and the tangent intersects?
Yes.
So you can sub in this for y into one of these circle equations.
Circle, okay.
So you can choose which one you want to do, which one you want to do.
We can equate it.
Okay,
we said, yeah.
Oh, no. So what is your equation?
We can say x plus 5 squared plus y minus 2 squared equals 25 equal, no. Actually, we can sub in where we see y, we can sub in the -4/3x minus 14. Yeah. You don't need to do it, I'll do it on my own, it's okay. It's a long It's fine, I'll do it on my own, it's very long. It seems long.
Whilst Nafisa is working out the coordinates of R, assume you have the coordinates of R. How can you? The next question is, what is the equation of AB? What do you guys think, Alia? One of you or Iman? If you have R, how could you work out AB, the equation?
You can find the gradient of PR, and then your gradient of AB will be the inverse of that, negative inverse of that.
Don't you have the equation? Don't you have the gradients of PQ? PR?
Yeah, negative 4/3.
So what's the gradient of AB?
It will be 3/4. And then you have R is equal to -2 and -2. And then
you get that? Did you work it out?
in.
Did you work it out?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Nafisa, did you get that? Nafisa, did you also get it?
Calculating it.
I'm getting there. Wait.
So, but you guys see, now that you have the equation of the coordinate of R, you have the gradient. So then you can work out the equation.
What did Iman say? I got -2 and -2.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
is that.
Okay.
And then for the next one, then you basically to find the equation of AB. So you can see that it'll be perpendicular to the PR, right? So we have the gradient of PR, which is -4/3. So that means the gradient of AB will be 3/4. And then because we know that R lies on AB, we can basically use 3/4 as our gradient and sub -2 and -2 into the equation. So y minus y1 is equal to m into x minus x1. So it'll be y plus 2 is equal to 3/4 into x plus 2, and it'll be y is equal to 3/4 x minus half.
Y equals 3/4 x minus half.
Yeah.
Okay, that does seem right. It's like quite okay. Do you see that, even though, do you see how important it is to read this? Nafisa, do you see that?
Yep.
Do you see how important, like, they're giving you answers before they're asking you the questions? So that's why it's so important to spend time with this. Don't read, don't skim through this. A lot of students, I find, they skim through this and they want to answer the questions. But the problem is there are hidden questions here that they're not asking you, that you actually have to answer. Because there are some answers that this thing will give you that they're not asking you for a year. Does that make sense? So like there are things that you would actually work out from here that they're not asking you here, but you need to answer these questions. Like, for example, they didn't ask us to work out the length of RQ.
Yeah.
Did they? No.
No.
It's because we worked it out ourselves from working through this. They didn't tell us that this is 90. They didn't ask us to prove that this is 90. We have to assume that because we know the concept of tangents and radius. You see that? So that's why you have to do that. Okay, any other questions?
Nope.
Alia? Iman?
Nope.
Okay. Have a good weekend. And I'll see you next week. I don't know if you want to come online Wednesday again. Nafisa, Iman. Oh, Nafisa didn't come last time. For the new students. If you're free. It's just nice to hear from students, because if I tell them, you must do this, but it's nice to actually hear. Yeah. Anyway, I'll see you. Enjoy your weekend.
Same to
You
you.
too, Islam.
Thank you.
Okay.